My girlfriend Willow never would have imagined in her wildest dreams that after she got into a car accident and lost her memory trying to save me, I would turn around and dump her without hesitation. Just to go home and agree to an arranged marriage, all because I'd already overheard a conversation between her and her bestie. She had pretended to lose her memory just so she could be with her new fling out in the open. If that was the case, I figured, then I might as well let go. But who would have thought, on the day of my engagement, she'd burst into the venue yelling. All of this was a carefully planned conspiracy. Chapter 1. Mom. I've decided to come home and agree to the arranged marriage. I stared out the window and spoke calmly. You finally dumped that girlfriend of yours. I told you long ago. She's no good, but you wouldn't listen. My mom complained, but she was clearly happy. All right then. Since you've come to your senses, come back soon. The wedding's in half a month. I've looked into the girl. She's reliable. Okay, I got it. After hanging up, I looked around at the home Willow and I had shared for 5 years. I still couldn't understand, how could she not be a good woman? She had loved me so deeply before. Back in college, Willow had pursued me for 4 whole years, rain or shine. She was always there, always willing to help. We got together the year we graduated and moved to Sea City to start our life. In those 5 years, our home had filled up with the gifts she gave me. She was a science and engineering major who hated writing. But after we got together, she wrote in her journal daily to record our happiness. 3 months ago, we were in a car crash. She pulled me behind her to protect me and got hit by the car instead. Willow had been willing to sacrifice her life for me. How could she not love me? But she really didn't love me anymore. At first, she told me she had amnesia. She said the accident caused memory loss. I felt incredibly guilty, and I swore to help her recover her memories. I took her back to all the places we had been. Told her the story behind every item in our home. Read our journals to her again and again. Still, Willow couldn't remember a thing. Seeing me upset, she looked at me guiltily and said, George, I know this hurts you. I don't want you to be sad. It makes me feel awful too. Maybe we should just break up. See, even if she didn't remember me, she still cared about my feelings. She had loved me so deeply. How could I bear to leave her? I wiped my tears and kept trying harder. And then one day, I saw her walk into a hotel with another man. When I confronted her, Willow looked annoyed. I told you, I don't remember anything. You can't expect me to be loyal to a total stranger, can you? In that moment, I was devastated. I even started to question myself. Was I wrong for pushing her? Should I just let go? Should we really break up? But then Willow hugged me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I just thought maybe if I tried being with someone else, my memory might come back. It's not like I chose to forget. Right, she had lost her memory for me, so I forgave her again. And I tried even harder to help her recover. As long as she remembered, the Willow who loved me would return. I could forgive a physical betrayal, as long as her heart still belonged to me. That's how we lived for 2 more months. And during that time, Willow cheated on me several more times. I was already numb from the pain. I just kept hoping she'd remember. She had loved me so much, maybe when she did remember, she'd cry and beg forgiveness, saying she felt dirty, but I never got to see her memory return. Instead, I got the truth. Last night, Willow went out drinking. When I found her, she was chatting with an old friend, Maria. Before I could make sense of it, their conversation hit me like a truck. Heard you lost your memory? Of course not. George is going nuts trying to help you recover. You were faking it. Damn girl. That's wild. What's your endgame, though? Under the dim lights, Willow took a sip of her drink and smiled. Spending your whole life with just one guy. What's the fun in that? This way's perfect. He stays because he feels guilty, and I get to have fun however I want. I couldn't hear anything after that. I turned around and left. Like a soulless shell. She lied to me. She never had amnesia. All those affairs weren't confusion. She just didn't want to be tied down. She thought life with me was boring. She just wanted to play around. So what did all my efforts mean? What was the point of reading those journals aloud again and again? Of crying while forgiving betrayal after betrayal? Was I a fool? Or was she just incredibly manipulative? I cried on the side of the road like a joke, but the Willow who would once come and hold me, take me home, she was long gone. Now she was someone reveling in her nightlife. I don't even remember how I got home. All I know is that after a sleepless night, I called my mother and agreed to the marriage. I was 27. It was time to get married anyway. Just then, the door opened. Willow walked in, still wearing last night's outfit, her pretty face full of impatience. The scent of alcohol still clung to her. Another wild night. Clearly, she suddenly started walking toward me. Chapter 2. What's wrong with you? You look awful. Willow reached out and touched my forehead. That soft, caring look on her face made me feel momentarily disoriented. I stepped back. Nothing. I just didn't sleep well last night. Her expression stiffened slightly, as if she realized she couldn't hide the truth anymore. Then she simply gave up the act and shrugged like it was no big deal. Are you jealous again? She accused me. George, you should know. I don't have my memories right now. I can't promise I'll only be with you. I feel terrible too. Okay. Thinking about how the last 20-something years of my life are just blank. It's scary, so I can only numb myself this way. And besides, this might actually help me get my memory back. My chest tightened with pain, but part of me wanted to laugh. How could someone say something that shameless with such ease? Even cheating could be spun into a therapeutic excuse. Impressive. Really. But I no longer had the energy to argue with her. I shook my head. I'm not angry. You're free to do what you want. I just didn't sleep well. My voice was calm, and I probably looked genuinely unbothered. But Willow didn't seem too pleased. She turned and went into the bathroom. When she came back out, she was wearing only a bathrobe, like she'd forgotten all about our earlier tension. She smiled and walked over to me. I really want to recover my memories soon. Tell me again, when was our first date? Our first date? I had brought roses early in the morning to pick her up. She wore a white dress. We spent the whole day at an amusement park, then went to a movie, and ended with a candlelit dinner. Everything went perfectly that day. Even the crosswalk lights all turned green as we approached. It wasn't until much later that I found out Willow had actually done a full rehearsal the day before, walking through the entire route herself to make sure everything would go just right. She gave me the most flawless first date possible. I forgot. I gently shook my head, then turned and tossed a stuffed toy into the trash bin. It was the prize we won at a claw machine that day. When I turned back around, Willow looked furious. George, what are you doing? You said you weren't mad, then what is this behavior supposed to be? Cleaning. I spoke calmly. Don't you think there's too much clutter in the house? It's messy. A lot of it's just trash. It needs to be cleared out. What does that have to do with whether you're mad or not? The things I used to treasure the most, after her betrayal, they all became garbage. Fine. Go ahead and throw a tantrum. Willow snapped. The more you act like this, the harder it is for me to regain my memory. I'll be watching to see who's the one crying in the end. And with that, she slammed the bedroom door shut. It was a threat. Plain and simple. I didn't respond. I wouldn't cry anymore. And I certainly wouldn't beg her to get her memories back. I'd cried enough for her in the past few months. I was completely drained. I left the house and headed to work. Willow and I worked at the same company, though in different departments. Funny thing is, even after her so-called amnesia, she could still go to work like normal. That should have been a red flag. But back then I hadn't realized a thing. When I submitted my resignation, my manager looked shocked. She was an upperclassman from college. We'd always gotten along well. You're quitting all of a sudden. Something happened? No, nothing. I'm just getting married. I smiled faintly. My family lived in City A. If I was going home to get married, of course I had to leave this job behind. You don't have to quit just because you're getting married. Laura looked a bit upset. But you and Willow have been together for so long. You've finally made it work. I won't try to stop you. That girl really went all in when she was chasing you back then. No matter rain or shine, she'd show up under your dorm every single day. There was one time you had sudden food poisoning. She skipped a major competition just to rush you to the hospital, and you two weren't even dating yet. I teased her, saying it was her big chance to shine. She just blushed and said she'd rather never have the chance, if it meant you wouldn't get sick. Gosh, she really loved you. Yeah, I nodded. She really had loved me, but that was a long time ago. The Willow who loved me had died a long time ago. Well, if that's your decision, then I won't stop you. I wish you all the happiness in the world. I nodded again, but didn't tell Laura that the woman I was marrying wasn't Willow. There was no us anymore. Laura approved my resignation. All that was left was to finish handing over my work before I left for good. As I passed by Willow's office, I saw a new intern walk in. Click. The door locked behind him. A moment later, there was a loud thud, like someone bumping into the door. Then another shadow leaned in close. I laughed. Of course, Willow was never one to deny herself pleasure or comfort, no matter the situation. Between the two of us, the one left crying was always me. Chapter 3. That night, Willow didn't come home until it was very late. I hadn't gone to bed. I sat in the living room waiting for her. Willow raised her eyebrows, seemingly in a very good mood. Oh, so you finally realized you were wrong. Not throwing a tantrum anymore? Since you waited up for me this late, I'll forgive. Willow, move out. I interrupted Willow. I'll give you half a month. Find a place and move out. The reason I waited for Willow tonight was just to tell her this. Now that I had, I didn't want to say anything else. Willow's face instantly turned very ugly. Her hand trembled slightly. She looked furious. Finally, she couldn't hold it in anymore. She raised her hand and slapped me hard across the face. My head tilted to the side from the blow. Willow shouted angrily, "George, are you crazy? You dare tell me to move out? Don't forget, it was you who begged me to move in, begged me to live with you, and now you want to kick me out. But, it's not the past anymore. I took the slap without flinching. There was no longer any shame or hesitation. I said calmly, I'm going to sell this apartment. I'm being kind by telling you in advance so you have time to move. The one I loved was the Willow who had her memories. That's not you. My promises to her have nothing to do with you. And besides, didn't you say you lost your memory? Then how would you know it was me who begged you to move in? I said that and turned back to the bedroom. Only half a month left, everything would soon be over. Willow chased after me into the bedroom. You just said, half a month, does that mean I can do whatever I want in this house for the next half month? I was already very tired and didn't understand what she meant by that. I nodded and pulled the blanket over my head. I only heard Willow let out a cold laugh. George, well done. I'll make sure you regret this. At that time, I still didn't understand what Willow meant, until that night when I came home from work and opened the door. I saw a man. It was Makoto, the new intern from Willow's department. He was wearing my slippers, with an apron on, cooking in the kitchen. Willow was leaning against the kitchen doorway, looking at him with love in her eyes. When Makoto saw me, he looked a bit surprised. He asked, Babe, who's this? Roommate. Willow answered casually. Then she walked up to me. From now on, you'll sleep in the guest room. Okay, roommate. Sure, I smiled. Now I understood what Willow meant when she said I'd regret it. But no, I wouldn't regret it. Willow had underestimated me. If I regret anything, it's that I was once so stupid that I didn't see through her sooner. If you're Willow's roommate, then join us for dinner, Makoto said with a bright smile. He had just graduated from university this year, and his smile looked so pure. Maybe he really liked Willow, so he believed everything she said. He hadn't noticed all the signs around the house that a couple had lived here. Matching cups, matching bowls. Even the aprons and slippers were couples' versions. Not to mention the countless framed photos around. Despite all the obvious proof, Willow could still say, just roommates, so confidently. She really was. I smiled again, once more marveling at Willow's shamelessness. No need to eat. Since he's going to live here, I'll move out. Wouldn't want to inconvenience you too. As I said that, I actually pulled a suitcase out of the storage room. I wasn't planning to stay long in Sea City anyway. Finding a random hotel was better than staying here, watching two lovebirds act all sweet. You're really leaving? Willow suddenly raised her voice. She didn't even bother to keep up the act anymore. George, what kind of temper tantrum is this? Her delicate brows furrowed. She was visibly annoyed. I worked all day. I'm exhausted. Do you know that? Can you stop with the drama already? I'm not throwing a tantrum. I felt a bit powerless. There were so many things I wanted to say. But I realized there was no point. I wanted to say, you were the one who betrayed me first. You were the one who pretended to lose your memory to fool me. I wanted to say, I'm not throwing a fit. I truly want to leave, but what's the point of saying any of that? Just then, there was a knock at the door. I turned to open it, and the person standing there was Maria, but she didn't even look at me. Her eyes went straight to Makoto, who stood beside Willow in an apron. Maria instantly became excited. Kaito, when did you come back? Why are you here? What are you talking about? This is Makoto. You've got the wrong person. Willow quickly cut her off. Maybe I did. Maria looked embarrassed. But she couldn't help staring at Makoto. No, seriously, he looks way too similar. Chapter 4. I didn't even know who this Kaito Maria mentioned was. But ever since Maria arrived, Willow had put away her usual impatience. She turned to Makoto and smiled sweetly. Darling, look, my friend came to see me. Why don't you head home for now? I'll make it up to you properly another day. Okay. Sure, whatever you say. Makoto smiled, not minding at all that their date had been interrupted. He took off his apron, put on his coat, and left with ease. Maria suddenly realized she might have intruded and looked a little awkward. Did I just interrupt something? No. Willow smiled. But what brings you here all of a sudden? I knew they probably wanted to talk, so I didn't stay. I turned and went into the bedroom. At that moment, Willow tried to cover things up unnecessarily. She says she was my high school classmate. I thought chatting with her might help me recover my memory faster. I almost laughed. At this point, was there really still a need to lie? The fake concern was laughable, but I just nodded. All right, you two chat. Behind me, Maria had already begun lowering her voice, but I still clearly heard her words. I came by because I heard you were faking your amnesia. Figured I'd drop by to see the drama for myself. But hey, what's with that guy just now? Oh, just an intern from the company. Kind of interesting. That night, I still slept in the guest room, leaving the master bedroom to Willow and Maria. Later, I got up to use the bathroom, and I found that Willow and Maria were still chatting. Maybe they thought I was already asleep, because they weren't keeping their voices down. And that's how I clearly heard Maria say, I saw Makoto today, and he looks so much like Kaito. For a second, I really thought Kaito had come back. How did you end up messing with someone like that? Wait, do you still like Kaito? I suddenly froze mid-step, an unexpected wave of dread washing over me. It always seemed to be like this. At the most random moments, I'd overhear truths I couldn't bear to know. And yet, my instincts always told me I had to hear them. Of course not. Willow paused for a moment before speaking again. I really didn't like Kaito anymore back then. And when I got together with George, I genuinely liked him too. But you know what? As the years have gone by, I've felt more and more like being with George is just boring. I'm tired of it. He even proposed to me recently. The moment I imagined spending the rest of my life with him, I felt scared. So that's why you pulled the whole amnesia act. Girl, you really went all in, Maria said with a sigh. What about Makoto, then? What's going on there? He's not a stand-in for Kaito, Willow said after a moment. Maybe I just like that type. That statement was as good as a direct admission that she did like Makoto. I suddenly let out a bitter laugh. Yeah, she'd already made it obvious, hadn't she? All the others were just taken to hotels, but Makoto, he'd been brought home. That Kaito must have been Willow's ex, or someone she had feelings for in the past, but she'd never mentioned him to me, all these years, and she'd still kept secrets from me. I never noticed a thing. The worst part? Willow was tired of me. I gave a silent, bitter smile. Maybe I really was just that dull of a person. No wonder she found life with me boring. It was because of my mediocrity that her past and new lovers all seemed so vivid in comparison. In the end, it wasn't that those other men won against me, it was that I lost to Willow. I quietly returned to the bedroom, pretending I hadn't heard anything. I had already given up anyway, hadn't I? When I woke up the next morning, Maria had already left. Only Willow and I were left in the apartment. I finally opened my mouth. Willow, honestly, there's no need for you to do all this. Willow raised an eyebrow. What? You finally realize you were wrong, that you shouldn't have been so moody with me? She walked over with a beaming smile, wrapping her arms around my neck. See, even if I lost my memory, I still love you. You know what that is? That's instinct. I love you this much, and you're still picking fights with me. You're such a heartless man. I shook my head, helpless. I gently pushed her away. What I meant was, when I said 2 days ago that you should move out. What I meant is that we've already broken up. I gave you ample time to find a new place. Seeing Willow's face get darker and darker, I spoke slowly and clearly, each word deliberate. So next time, don't tell anyone I'm your roommate. My current title should be, Your Ex-Boyfriend. Chapter 5. Fine, fine, whatever. Willow sneered coldly. She raised her hand, as if she was about to slap me again. But this time, she held back. I simply looked at Willow with calm eyes, so calm it might have seemed indifferent. It was as if no matter what Willow did, it would never change anything in me. I had once seen how Willow looked when she loved me. I loved that version of her, too, but the Willow in front of me no longer loved me. I didn't know why she refused to let me go even after falling out of love, but I was done tolerating her behavior. George, you're being such a jerk. You'll regret this, she snapped. She glared at me stubbornly, but her eyes started to redden uncontrollably. Almost instinctively, I wanted to pull her into a hug, to comfort her and tell her not to be upset, but then I remembered her lies, her betrayal, her so-called feelings for Makoto, or maybe it was always Kaito in her heart. I fought back the instinct. I didn't want to show even a shred of tenderness to Willow anymore. I gave a faint smile. Who are you planning to bring home this time? Do you think this kind of act can still get to me? Willow, do whatever you want. Bring home someone new every day if you like. I won't care anymore. We're done. You're breaking up with me just because I lost my memory. Willow looked at me with the kind of expression someone would give a heartless player. She glared at me in fury. You're unbelievable. She said this and stormed out of the house in such a rush that she didn't even bother changing out of her slippers. I watched her back disappear and sighed silently. For a moment, it seemed like she still loved me, but how many people had she said that same love to? It felt fake. I couldn't take it anymore. Over the next few days, Willow didn't return home. I didn't care. She had plenty of places she could go. That night, just after I left the office, I got a call from an unfamiliar number. When I picked up, it turned out to be Maria. George, Willow's drunk. Come pick her up. Maria gave me the address of a bar and hung up right away, as if afraid I might refuse. I sighed. Willow had so many new flings and old flames. Why did she call me after getting drunk? But I still went. The bar was dimly lit. I frowned as I weaved through the booths, finally spotting Willow, completely wasted. Maria looked visibly relieved when she saw me. She's your problem now. I've got things to do. I'm heading out. She bolted out like she was fleeing from something. I couldn't help but feel like Maria was somehow afraid of me. I didn't dwell on it. I patted Willow's back gently and called out to wake her up. Come on, I'll take you home. Willow groggily opened her eyes and wrapped her arms around my neck. I hate you, she mumbled. I nodded. Just as I was about to lift her up, a drunk from the next table caused a scene. A beer bottle flew toward me, but before it could hit me, Willow shielded me with her body. She was already drunk, and that blow knocked her out cold. I froze. My whole body stiffened, a chill creeping from the inside out, paralyzing me. The last time I felt this scared was 3 months ago during the car accident with Willow. I couldn't even begin to imagine what I would do if something happened to her. I quickly pulled myself together, scooped her up, and rushed to the hospital. After a round of exams, the doctor calmly told me that the blow hadn't caused any real injury. She was going to be just fine. Only then did I finally relax. Since she was all right, I could breathe again. By the time I got Willow back home, it was already deep into the night. I was utterly drained. I just wanted to rest. I placed Willow on the bed. Just as I walked out of the bedroom, I saw her phone lying on the floor. I picked it up and saw several messages from Maria on the screen. Are you okay? Was my aim good? Did George believe you? Sis, update me when you can. I'm anxious as hell. In an instant, it felt like I was struck by lightning. That bottle earlier, it was Maria who threw it. What was she trying to make me believe? What kind of twisted drama was waiting for me next? I had been so nervous, so scared just moments ago, and now it turned out I'd been deceived again. Willow, what the hell do you take me for? How can you lie to me like this, again and again? What else am I supposed to believe in? What exactly are you trying to do? I was full of frustration, but I had no one to talk to. Numbly, I walked into the bathroom. When I came out again, I was suddenly pulled into a tight embrace before I could react. At some point, Willow had woken up. Her eyes were red, and the moment she touched me, tears began to fall. She looked devastated, like she was at her breaking point. George, I'm sorry. I remember everything now. In that moment, I understood. This whole charade was about regaining her memory. Willow clung to me like she loved this man more than anything in the world. But how can real love come with betrayal? How can love involve lies? That's not love at all. I didn't say a word. I didn't know how to respond. Should I put on a joyful performance? Say something like, darling, you finally got your memory back. We've made it through the worst. Or should I confront her with rage? Willow, do you think I'm a fool? That you can lie to me however you want and I'll keep falling for it? Do I look brainless to you? Both reactions would have made sense, but I was just too tired. The exhaustion, from the inside out, left me with no strength to respond at all. I didn't want to. I couldn't. Willow, getting no response, looked hurt. She buried her head in my chest. George, I know I've done a lot of horrible things lately. Do you think you can't forgive me? I'm sorry. I don't even know why I acted that way. I was scared when I lost my memory. I didn't do it on purpose. But now that I've remembered everything, I promise you, those things will never happen again. Please, forgive me. Okay. Still, I said nothing. Willow's move was predictable now. After I'd firmly told her I wanted to break up, she probably realized she had pushed things too far. So, she staged this dramatic act about regaining her memory. To be honest, her acting was good enough to become a professional actress. If I hadn't seen the truth with my own eyes, I might have actually believed her performance. The thought of myself being played like a fool made me feel ridiculous. I gently pushed Willow away and said flatly, okay, what kind of attitude is that? Willow looked flustered. Aren't you happy I got my memory back? Or are you still mad about what happened before? I know what I did was wrong back then, but you said before you'd forgive me for everything. I didn't say I wouldn't forgive you. I pushed her away again. I'm just really tired today. I want to rest. With that, I turned and walked into the guest bedroom. After all, there were only 7 days left until I left. Whatever Willow wanted to do now, I no longer cared. Chapter 6. The next morning when I woke up, to my surprise, Willow had made a full table of breakfast. I hadn't seen her this sweet and eager to please since the early days, back when she was chasing after me. Now, she looked completely devoted, like she loved me with all her heart. Darling, back when I lost my memory, you read me your diary every day to help me remember. The more I think about it, the more I realize how deeply in love we were back then. How about we visit our old college? I can take a few days off. Let's relive those happy times, just like before. Wouldn't that be nice? Willow looked at me expectantly. I should have refused. This woman, with her fake affection and her carefully constructed lies, what was there left to hold on to? But Willow was the only woman I had ever truly loved in all these years. Even if this was the end, then let me indulge myself, just this once. I nodded. Sure. Day 1, we went back to our alma mater. Like ordinary college students, we walked hand in hand across the campus, even sneaked into the cafeteria and had a meal there. Willow laughed with such joy that I couldn't help but laugh along with her. At the same time, all company matters were wrapped up. I had officially resigned without issue. Day 2, we visited the park where we had our first date. Same walk, same smiles, Same happiness as years ago. I deleted every single photo of us from all the years we were together. Even those stored in the cloud, everything, gone. Day 4. We watched the sunrise from the mountaintop. Willow leaned against my chest, thinking I was asleep. She casually responded to flirtatious messages from Makoto right in front of me. So it turned out that anyone could be called darling. I acted like I hadn't seen it. I didn't feel pain anymore anyway. Day 7. In the rose garden, Willow suddenly pulled out a ring with teary eyes. We've been together for 5 years. We really love each other. Time has proven it. I want to marry you. Will you? I didn't reply. 3 months ago. It was right here that I proposed to her, only for her to get so scared she staged an entire fake amnesia drama. And now she's proposing marriage? What's the point of this? I gave her a faint smile. Can I tell you my answer tomorrow? All right. Willow looked a little disappointed, but she didn't press. Our vacation ended, and we returned home. What Willow didn't know was, tonight would be our last night together. Her phone vibrated nonstop. I already knew, it was Makoto. She had spent these 7 days with me, which meant Makoto had been ignored for 7 days. Of course he'd make a fuss. Sure enough, Willow looked at me cautiously. Maria asked me to come out. Go ahead. I nodded and even gently handed her the bag. Wait for me. I'll be back soon. Willow said it with conviction, as if she'd made up her mind about something. I said nothing. I wouldn't be waiting. After she left, I quietly began packing away everything that held memories of us. Things that once symbolized happiness and love had become nothing but trash. Turns out, 5 years of memories can be cleared out in just 3 hours. When I finished, the only things left in the apartment were Willow's. Once she moved out and the place got sold, it would really be over. By sunrise, Willow still hadn't come back. Good. Saved me the trouble of a meaningless goodbye. At 8 a.m., I took a cab to the airport. As I boarded the plane, a slow smile spread across my face. Finally, it was all over. Willow, we don't ever have to see each other again. Chapter 7. Willow walked through the door just 5 minutes past 8. In her hands was a box of dumplings, from my favorite little shop. At this time of day, I would normally be up already. She needed to be fast. If I'd already eaten breakfast, her thoughtful gesture would be wasted. But what Willow never expected was that when she opened the door, what greeted her wasn't me waiting for her like always, but a home. Half emptied. Some changes were just too obvious, so obvious she couldn't ignore them. The couple's portrait we had taken 2 years ago, which once hung directly across the entrance, was gone. We had once said we'd replace it with a wedding photo. The shoe cabinet no longer held my shoes. Willow's hand trembled. The box of dumplings slipped from her fingers and fell to the floor. The packaging split open, and the lovingly prepared breakfast turned into a mess. But Willow didn't even glance at it. She rushed straight into the bedroom. No one there. She checked the study, the guest room, the bathroom, the kitchen. She searched every corner of the apartment at lightning speed, but found no trace of me. My clothes were gone. The cabinet in the living room where we kept gifts for each other in our photo albums was empty. That person, and everything tied to him, was gone. But that didn't make sense. We were just fine yesterday. She even proposed to me. Sure, I didn't say yes, but I told her I'd give her my answer today. Was this the answer? George, what is the meaning of this? You owe me an explanation. Panic overtook Willow. Choking back tears, she pulled out her phone and dialed my number over and over again. But all she heard was the same cold voice. The number you have dialed is unavailable. Please try again later. After a long while, it slowly dawned on Willow, she had been blocked. She opened her social apps, and sure enough, there it was, a red exclamation mark. Many couples, especially young ones, often use breakups as a way to test each other's love. Just look at someone like Maria. In just 1 year of dating, she had broken up and gotten back together with her boyfriend multiple times. But in 5 years, Willow and I had never broken up, not even once, and we had never blocked each other. I wasn't the type to go back and forth, so if I blocked someone, it meant I was done. If I said we were breaking up, it meant we really were. No. You can't just say you don't want me and then actually leave. You can't do this. Willow snapped. She turned and ran out the door. Today was a weekday. Even if I'd broken up with her and moved out, I still had to go to work, right? I don't care what stunt you're pulling. George, I'll forgive you. As long as you're still with me, I'll forgive you. She kept muttering to herself, like she was brainwashing her own heart, as if repeating it enough would make it real, as if I'd appear beside her again. Tell her we were still in love. She floored the gas pedal all the way, ran through 2 red lights in a daze, but nothing else mattered to Willow anymore. Willow rushed into my office, only to find it completely empty. Just then, Laura happened to walk by. Hey, Willow, what are you doing here? Where's George? Willow's voice suddenly rose. Right now. She looked almost frightening. Where's George? Don't you know? He quit, Laura replied, blinking in surprise. He said he was getting married. What happened between you two? Getting married? I see. We're fine. Everything's great, Willow replied, then quickly turned and left, not even caring that she was skipping work today. George was getting married. That must mean he was accepting her proposal. If that was the case, then why did he move out? Could it be because she had brought Makoto back into that home? Willow convinced herself that must be it. It had to be. George, you get jealous so easily, don't you? She muttered with a soft chuckle, but that just means you care. It's okay, I forgive you. You love me so much. You even took the gifts we gave each other when you moved out. Just for that, I forgive you. There was no way she was going back to work today. Willow headed home once again, but just as she approached the building, something in the trash bins caught her eye. Her heart skipped a beat. She walked closer. Sitting right at the top of the garbage pile was a stuffed bear, over a meter tall. Wasn't that the same bear George had bought her 3 years ago? Why was it in the trash? And that wasn't all. She saw more things, photos of her and George, the gifts they exchanged, his toothbrush, slippers, his towel, so many things, all in the trash. They weren't taken, they were thrown away. What about her? Was she being thrown away too? Tears streamed down Willow's face like rain. The nearby cleaning lady was startled. Miss, are you okay? She asked. These. I'm taking them back, Willow choked out. These were hers. What gave George the right to just throw them out? How could he do that? But they're all dirty, the cleaning lady said hesitantly. Willow froze. She looked up, and sure enough, the bear that used to be soft and clean was now stained and grimy, just like a once beautiful relationship, now tainted. Even if she forced herself to pull it back out, cleaned and sanitized it thoroughly, the thought would still linger. It was once in the trash, covered in filth. How could she ever hug it again without feeling disgusted? It was such a simple truth, and in that moment, Willow finally understood. It wasn't just those once loving mementos that had been abandoned. It was their relationship. It was her. George, you can't do this to me. I made mistakes. You can yell at me, punish me, but you can't just throw me away. The cleaning lady was frightened. The young woman before her was crying and saying things she couldn't understand. She wanted to comfort her, but didn't know where to start. But Willow didn't need anyone else's comfort. She stubbornly pulled those dirty gifts and photos out of the trash. It's fine, she told herself. I'll wash them. They'll be clean again. As she scrubbed, her tears wouldn't stop. She truly regretted everything, but what could she do now? After finishing, Willow sat numbly on the couch, completely lost. Then, there was a knock at the door. Willow's heart leapt. She ran to the door in a rush. It must be George. He came back. He regretted it. I knew it. I knew he couldn't really leave me. Chapter 8. But when the door opened, standing outside were two unfamiliar men. They introduced themselves. Hello. We're from the agency. The property owner has commissioned us to sell this apartment. You must be Miss Liu. Right. Mr. Wang asked us to let you know. Please move out as soon as possible. George is selling the apartment. Willow's voice was filled with despair. George is actually selling this place. How could he do this to me? The agents looked visibly awkward. Before they came, the owner had already warned them someone was still living in the apartment, and they'd need to persuade her to leave before the place could be sold. But the commission for the listing was double the market rate, so the agents had no choice but to come anyway. The woman before them looked educated and composed. Surely she would be reasonable. Miss, we're just acting on behalf of the owner. He's decided to sell the property, so naturally, the apartment has to go. May we ask when you plan to move out? If he wants to sell it, then sell it to me. Willow quickly calmed herself. This is our home. I won't let him sell it. Her mind drifted back to 5 years ago, when we had just started dating. We had both just graduated from college, both still living in rented apartments. When Willow shyly brought up the idea of moving in together, I had firmly said no. Back then, she was hurt, thinking I didn't want to live with her. But then I told her, seriously, not until I buy a home, and I meant it. Just 2 weeks later, I bought this place, with help from my family for the down payment. Willow had been deeply moved. This man said he'd give her a home, and he really did. I didn't just talk about love, I acted on it. We lived here together for nearly 5 years. This wasn't just a property, it was our home. How could he just sell it? Are you serious about buying it? One of the agents asked again. Willow nodded with conviction. Yes, I'll buy it. She had some savings from work over the years. Even if she couldn't afford it outright, she'd take out a loan or borrow the money. She would not let someone else take this place. After she sent the agents away, Willow pulled out her phone and started calling mutual friends, one by one. Do you know where George is? Can you get in touch with him? Finally, after the 8th call, she got an answer. Wait, you didn't know. He's getting married today. I thought he was marrying you. What the hell is going on? The friend was from our college days. Willow's hand trembled, and her phone slipped to the floor, but the voice on the other end was still perfectly clear. I saw it on his old roommate's social media. He said George was getting married today. Isn't it with you? Can you tell me where the wedding is being held? This was the second time Willow had heard that I was getting married. Maybe Laura had misunderstood earlier, but now there was evidence on social media. Could it be true? Was George really getting married? But to whom? He's my boyfriend. How could he be marrying someone else? This is impossible. Moments later, Willow found the social media post. It was an electronic wedding invitation, with the hotel's location pinned. Yes, George was definitely getting married. A wave of pain crashed down on Willow, so intense she couldn't even breathe. After years of being together, she of course knew that my family lived in a city, but to leave without saying a word, to just disappear and go get married. George, how could you do this to me? I won't let you marry someone else. You're my boyfriend. If you're getting married, it can only be with me. Chapter 9. Willow made a snap decision and bought the earliest flight she could find. By the time she arrived in City A, it was already 2 in the afternoon. She grew increasingly anxious, and as soon as she got off the plane, she rushed into a cab headed for the hotel. It was rush hour, and they got stuck in traffic. While waiting, Willow kept sending messages to George's chat, even though he had already blocked her. She kept hoping, what if George suddenly unblocked her? Then he would see her messages, wouldn't he? George, you're not allowed to marry someone else. I'm telling you, you can't marry anyone else. I know I messed up. You can punish me however you want, but you can't marry someone else. You proposed to me. You said you wanted to marry me. How can you go back on your word? But hope was just that, hope. That glaring red exclamation mark never disappeared. He hadn't unblocked her. When Willow finally arrived at the hotel, the wedding seemed to have already started. Without an invitation, she was stopped at the entrance and could only plead with the security guard. I'm a friend of the groom. His name is George. Right, he knows me. Please, I'm begging you. Just tell him I'm here. If he knows it's me, he'll definitely come out to see me. Miss, I'm really not trying to be difficult, but if you're really a friend of the groom, then you should be able to contact him. Just ask him to come pick you up, right? The guard looked troubled. It was someone's big day. If he let in someone who might cause trouble and ruin the wedding, he could lose his job. Besides, the girl in front of him looked disheveled. She really might be here to stir up drama. Willow begged until her lips were dry, but the guard still wouldn't let her in. At that moment, the wedding ceremony was being live-streamed onto a large screen outside the hotel. The guard pointed at the screen. Look, you can watch it from here. It's the same thing. Willow's face instantly went pale. On the screen, the couple was exchanging rings, and the smiling groom, wasn't that George? Just yesterday, he had still been her boyfriend. They were so happy and in love. They had gone home together, so how could he be marrying someone else today? Willow finally broke down. She crouched down on the ground and burst into tears. George, how can you do this to me? How can you betray me like this? You can't. But her cries, her heartbreak, none of it reached him. Only the security guard beside her stood there, silently thankful that he hadn't let her in. He had already guessed, this must be the groom's ex-girlfriend. No way he was going to let her ruin the wedding. Inside the venue, I had no idea what was happening outside. I followed the steps and completed the final part of the ceremony. I was really married, not to Willow, the girlfriend I had dated for 5 years, but to a woman I had only met for the second time today, Anna. Everything felt surreal, disjointed, like a dream, but it was real. During the toasts, friends couldn't help but comment on how sudden everything was, but of course, no one dared to say such things in front of the bride. Amidst the peaceful celebration, a staff member quietly came to my side. After hearing what they had to say, I couldn't help but frown. Still, I couldn't just ignore it. I discreetly explained the situation to Anna, then stepped out of the hotel. At the entrance, Willow was there, trying to force her way inside like she'd lost her mind. She looked completely unhinged, as if she had no sense of reason left. The hotel staff, worried she might do something drastic, had informed me. Seeing Willow again stirred up complicated emotions in me. I had thought we would never see each other again. We'd been together for years. I knew Willow well. She was always decisive, never one to linger after a breakup. If she got dumped, she'd walk away without looking back. I never expected her to actually come looking for me, and how had she even found me in such a short amount of time? As soon as Willow saw me, her tears fell even harder. I sighed and pulled her into a quiet corner. I didn't want to become a public joke on a day like this. Why are you here? What do you mean, George? What do you mean by this? Willow choked out between sobs. Are you really marrying someone else? How could you? The wedding ring still fresh on my finger, the groom's suit still on my body. She had just seen me exchange rings with another woman. It was a done deal, yet Willow still couldn't accept it. How could you marry someone else? How could you do this to me? I already told you. I spoke softly, a bit helpless, a bit conflicted. We broke up. It's over between us. I told you a long time ago. I was calm, but Willow couldn't accept it. She stubbornly insisted. But the reason you broke up with me was because I lost my memory. I've recovered now, haven't I? Why are you still breaking up with me? Is it because of what happened before? I admit I made mistakes, but they were understandable, weren't they? As long as you don't break up with me, I'll do whatever you want. George, I'm begging you, don't leave me, please. Willow, I heard what you said to Maria that day, I said, giving her a bitter smile. In her pale, stricken expression, I said the cruel truth. At the bar that day, you told her you never actually lost your memory. You pulled off this whole drama. You lied to me, just because you thought being with one man your whole life was boring. You just wanted to play around. You wanted novelty, excitement. You thought this setup was perfect. I stayed because I felt guilty, and you were free to do whatever you wanted. You played me for 3 months until I found out, until I told you I wanted to break up, and then you suddenly said your memory was back, because you realized you couldn't keep the game going. But Willow, you and I both know, there was never any memory loss. Life isn't some cheesy soap opera. Where do you think all that melodrama actually happens? I took a deep breath, trying to suppress the bitterness in my chest. You just wanted to play around. You wanted novelty, excitement. That whole memory loss story was just your excuse. The ridiculous part is, I actually believed you at the start. No, George. Willow tried to defend herself, but I cut her off with a cold, mocking laugh. I kept thinking afterward, how could I have believed you, when you clearly never lost your memory? I tried so hard to help you regain it. I read our old journals to you. I pointed to our photos, to every single memory we shared, and told you our story, again and again. And what were you thinking while I did all that? Were you laughing inside? Did you think, what a joke this man is? Willow, did you think I was just some fool you could spin around in circles? Did you feel powerful, like nothing was beyond your control, as long as you wanted it badly enough? Chapter 10. I spoke word by word. I was using the most venomous thoughts to speculate about Willow. I was deliberately shattering the love we once had, piece by piece, in this cruel way. This is how disgraceful we've become. How pathetic. There shouldn't be even a trace of warmth left between us. I was wrong. I was really wrong. By now, Willow finally no longer dared to harbor any illusions. She finally stopped disguising everything with lies and pretenses. She sincerely apologized and admitted her mistake. George, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I was just scared back then. You suddenly proposed, and I wasn't prepared at all. I just panicked for a moment. I never meant to break up with you. You never meant to break up with me, but you still betrayed me, I said calmly. All those things you did, do you really think you deserve to be forgiven? Willow, what if I had done what you did? What if I had gone to hotels with woman after woman? What if I brought my side chick home, right in front of you, and told her you were just a roommate I shared the rent with? What would you think then? With your temper, you probably would have killed me, right? Willow couldn't argue, because with her temper, she really would have done that. Don't even mention the 5 years we were together. Even during the 4 years when she was the only one in love, when she was pursuing me, the moment someone else got close to me, even slightly, she would lose her mind. Her possessiveness was that extreme. When she liked someone, she needed that person to belong to her forever. So how did she dare to go so far? Searching her heart, Willow couldn't even recall what gave her the courage to be so reckless, so outrageous. After thinking over and over again, it seemed like there was only one reason. She had lived a life that was too good for too long. She got used to this person's tenderness, got used to this person's love. We had been together for too long. From the time she first pursued me, it was like I had been pulled into her world. So much time had passed that she took it for granted. No matter what happened, no matter how bad it got, this person would always be hers. He would never leave her. But now, reality had taught her a harsh lesson. She was the one who soiled our relationship. So for me to throw her away, I wasn't wrong. If she had any self-respect left, she should walk away right now. She shouldn't entangle herself with another woman's groom. But Willow couldn't do it. She clung to me like a madwoman. George, I know that no matter how many times I say sorry now, you'll never forgive me, but I really do know I was wrong. I don't know why I went insane like that. I already regret it. I'm begging you. Please forgive me, but I'm already married, I said, gently pushing Willow away. Not only that, I know even more now. I know that you used to like someone. His name was Kaito, right? I laughed mockingly. I also know that you like Makoto now, and I know that I look a little like him. Maria said that Makoto looks a lot like Kaito. So, do I also look a bit like Kaito too? No, it's not like that. It's not. It was like Willow had been struck at the deepest, most hidden part of her heart. She shook her head quickly. As if, as long as she shook it fast enough, none of it would be real. As if everything could still be covered up and smoothed over. But ever since the night I heard that truth, I had already figured out exactly what was going on. Chapter 11. Willow, back when we first met in college, you fell for me at first sight and then started pursuing me. Was it because you genuinely liked my type? Or was it because I reminded you of someone you used to love but never ended up with? 9 years. 9 whole years of entanglement. I don't want to believe that I was just someone's stand-in. When I saw Makoto that day, I didn't think much of it at first, but once I found out that Makoto looked like Kaito, I looked in the mirror, and it hit me. I looked like Makoto too. So what did all these years even mean? If Willow never truly liked me that much, then everything she did afterward would make sense. If you don't really love someone, then nothing matters. That's why she could hurt me so easily, without a second thought. If it had been Kaito who ended up with Willow, she probably wouldn't have needed to chase after excitement or something new all the time. I never saw you as someone's replacement. Willow choked back her tears as she spoke. I loved you. All these years, I only loved you. It was always you. I never did what you're thinking. I clearly didn't believe her. But Willow continued. Yes, I did like him back then. But I was just a teenager, young and clueless. Later on, I really did love you. Only you. Willow knew all too well that she had already committed more than enough sins in our relationship. She couldn't bear to be accused of one more. She explained quickly. As for Makoto, that was really just a coincidence. There's nothing between me and him. That day, I was just trying to piss you off. You told me to move out. I acted out. I was impulsive and selfish. But just last night, weren't you still with him? I sneered. If Willow hadn't left, maybe, on that final night, we could have parted on decent terms. But Willow hadn't even given me that much. Under blow after blow of emotional betrayal, with each cruel truth stacking up, she was now on the verge of collapse. Because yes, it was true. Last night, Makoto reached out to her. In fact, he had been contacting her over the past few days. Willow felt she owed him a proper goodbye. It seemed wrong not to. At first, she had only planned to have a little fun with Makoto. He was young, energetic, the type she used to fall for. But when I said I wanted to break up, she genuinely panicked. So she dropped the games. She chose to cut ties with that tempting world out there. She chose to have only me. That's why she went to see Makoto, just one last time. They drank, but nothing happened. Willow turned him down. Back then, she truly intended to settle down with me. She just didn't expect that I wouldn't even give her the chance. None of that matters anymore. Willow, what matters is, I'm married. I lifted my right hand, showing her the ring. Do you see this? I'm already married. I won't do anything that would betray my wife. And I don't think you want to be the kind of person who breaks up someone else's marriage, either. So, Willow, I hope you'll have some self-respect. I came to see Willow this one last time only because I wanted to put an end to all of this. Our love, our mess, our long-standing entanglement. That's it, nothing more. I would never allow myself to cross that line. When did you decide to get married? Willow suddenly asked. Having let out all her emotions, she had finally regained her composure. After all, weddings don't just happen overnight, and it's not like you can randomly find someone suitable to marry just like that. Chapter 12. Half a month ago, I began. I found out half a month ago that you never lost your memory. I realized you've been lying to me all along. I knew you were fully conscious when you betrayed me, so I chose to get married. It was an arranged marriage set up by my family. Is that a problem? I didn't look back and walked straight into the hotel. The Wang family runs a sizable business in City A. I have an older brother, and my family has never really put much pressure on me. Over the years, I've always done what I wanted. I never thought something like an arranged marriage would ever involve me. But after Willow betrayed me, and just when my family happened to need someone to enter a marriage alliance, when Anna said she was willing to marry me, I agreed. Maybe accepting such an arrangement isn't so bad after all. I mean, the relationship I spent years building up still ended in failure, didn't it? It turned out to be a complete joke, meaningless in the end. As soon as I entered the hotel, I saw Anna standing there. From her angle, she could just see Willow a short distance away. It's human nature to be curious. I couldn't help glancing a couple of times. Hope you're not upset, Anna said with a smile. But don't worry, I'm not the jealous type. She's my ex-girlfriend. I smiled back. But don't worry, I won't be contacting her again. I'm not worried. Anna nodded and reached out to take my hand. Come on, only 2 tables left to toast. All right. After the final round of toasts, we returned to the new apartment that had been prepared in advance. Funny enough, it was actually my first time visiting this place, but all the daily necessities were already set up, so there wasn't much for me to worry about. I hadn't been involved in any part of the wedding planning from beginning to end. I must be one of the most laid-back grooms in the world. After getting ready for bed, Anna walked out. We sat facing each other in the living room, and to my surprise, I felt a bit awkward. I cleared my throat and said, I'll sleep in the guest room. I respect that, but I don't think it's really necessary, is it? Anna stood up, walked to me, and raised her beautiful face with a determined look. Despite her gentle and quiet appearance, she spoke quite directly. I'm not planning to have an affair, and I'm not planning to get a divorce either. Even if this is an arranged marriage, eventually, We'll have to live like a normal married couple. What? Are you planning to sleep in the guest room forever? I felt awkward. I didn't know how to tell Anna that I couldn't imagine lying on the same bed with someone I was only meeting for the second time. Alright, I respect that. Feelings take time to develop. After all, Anna didn't push me. She turned and went into the master bedroom. I sighed. Seemed like I upset her. After washing up, I went to the guest room. A plain and quiet wedding night. The newlyweds sleeping in separate rooms, not disturbing each other. Peaceful, in a way. The next morning, bright and early, my phone started ringing like crazy. Still groggy, I answered. It was my mom. Mom, what's going on? Oh, nothing. I just wanted to ask how your first night as a married couple went. Mom, I felt a bit helpless. Why is my mom so gossipy? Hey, you didn't ignore Anna last night, did you? That girl has had a crush on you for years. What did you say? I snapped awake instantly. What do you mean she's liked me for years? Wasn't yesterday only the second time we've ever met? Where's the years coming from? You didn't know. Oh dear. You silly boy. My mom suddenly raised her voice. Are you really clueless? Or just pretending to be? She's liked you for so many years. If it weren't for that, why would she even agree to an arranged marriage with you? The call ended, but I still hadn't fully processed what I just heard. I thought Anna and I were just in a straightforward marriage alliance. I never got involved in the family business, and I didn't know much about any dealings between our families. I never gave the marriage arrangement much thought, but now, after we're already married, I'm suddenly told there's more to it. That this was actually the result of a long-standing secret crush turning into reality. I walked out of the bedroom in a daze. At some point, Anna had already gotten up and was doing yoga in the living room. I was curious. I really wanted to ask her, what's the deal with this so-called long-time crush? But if she really does like me, how am I supposed to deal with that? Things between me and Willow are still a complete mess, tangled and unresolved. In the end, I didn't ask. I turned and left the apartment. Not noticing the slight disappointment in Anna's eyes behind me. I was ready to finally tell you the story. Why didn't you ask? Outside, I didn't know what I should be doing. Just then, the real estate agent called. They had confirmed it. Willow really was trying to buy that apartment. I was silent for a while, then finally said, "Don't sell it to her, and please let her know I'd like her to move out as soon as possible. I don't want her affecting the sale." I hung up the phone, still unable to make sense of Willow's actions. That apartment isn't cheap. With her job, Willow hasn't saved much over the years, especially not after buying a car. And honestly, that apartment isn't even a great deal in terms of value. If she's so insistent on buying it, the only reason must be because we once lived there, but we've broken up. Our relationship is over. It's just a place. What's the point of holding on to it? What I didn't know was, Willow had already made up her mind. She wouldn't give up on the apartment, and more importantly, she wouldn't give up on me. Just then, my phone rang again. This time it was Laura. "Senior, did you need something? You got married, and not to Willow." I knew this was what she was going to ask about. I sighed. "Yeah, we broke up. Sorry, I didn't explain things clearly last time. I really didn't expect you two to split. You used to be so in love," Laura said with regret. "But I'm just an outsider when it comes to relationships, so I won't try to give advice. Now that you're married, just focus on your new life." "Thanks, Laura." After hanging up, I felt a bit emotional. I didn't want to deal with more questions from friends, so I posted a short update to my social media. Married. Don't ask. Don't disturb. Chapter 13. I wandered around for a bit, but in the end, with nowhere else to go, I had no choice but to return home. Anna didn't seem to mind my inner conflict at all. She had already prepared breakfast. "You're back. Come eat," Anna said with a soft smile. But maybe because I was feeling guilty, I couldn't help but think the way she looked at me carried some strange, unreadable meaning. Before coming back to City A, it was already agreed that I'd start helping out at the family company this time. But there was no rush to start work. My brother had waved his hand generously and given me 2 weeks of marriage leave. Normally, right after a wedding, couples would go on a honeymoon. But Anna and I were in an arranged marriage. We hadn't discussed any of this before the wedding. We had literally just added each other on social media yesterday. The more I thought about it, the more I felt like Anna had really gotten the short end of the stick. Thinking this, I took the initiative to speak up. "Where would you like to go for our honeymoon?" Anna's face lit up with a smile. "I'll go wherever you want." "All right, I'll look into some good options. Oh, by the way, Mom already helped us plan a few honeymoon ideas." As Anna spoke, she sent me a few documents. As expected, when Mom handles things, everything's top-notch and reassuring. In the end, Anna and I decided on Bali. Even while boarding the plane, I was still marveling. Having a mom like mine really is a blessing. After landing, Anna naturally reached out and held my hand. I stiffened up a little. After all, these past years, Willow was the only one I'd ever been that physically close with. In that moment, I honestly didn't know how to respond. But Anna acted completely natural, so natural that if I said anything, it would have felt like I was overreacting. She even explained politely, "I don't know my way around here. I don't want to get lost." It was a reasonable excuse. Naturally, I couldn't argue. I didn't notice the sly little smile on the woman beside me. I have to admit, going to a brand new place, leaving behind all the stress and overthinking, that kind of travel really can help heal a person's heart. At least during these 2 weeks, I thought about Willow far less than I used to. Still, Anna's occasional displays of intimacy kept throwing me off balance. For instance, just now, Anna casually swept her hair aside, exposing most of her bare back right in front of me. My face instantly flushed red. I didn't know what to do. Anna, however, just sighed and said, "Help me zip this up, will you?" Sure. I clumsily zipped up her dress, my hands stiff and awkward. Anna simply sighed again. "Honey, we're already married. We're husband and wife now. Don't act like I'm seducing you or something, okay?" I'm just not used to this yet. I tried to explain, a little embarrassed. That's just how I am, slow to warm up to people. There was a reason it took Willow 4 whole years to win me over. "That's all right, I don't mind," Anna said with a smile. "At least it shows you're not someone easy to conquer." The conversation was getting more and more awkward, and I didn't know how to respond anymore. Anna didn't press the issue further. Later, we dressed up in traditional local outfits. Anna even excitedly hired a photographer to take pictures of us. In front of the camera, Anna naturally wrapped her arms around mine, then gently pulled my hand onto her waist. In public, even though I was stiff and awkward, I did my best to appear affectionate. Anna seemed genuinely happy. After getting the pictures, she uploaded them to her social media. The 2-week honeymoon flew by quickly. On the day we flew back, Anna looked a bit reluctant. Who knows when we'll get to go on a trip like this again? Chapter 14. If you want, I can go with you anytime. I said it seriously, since we were already married. No matter how it started, I would do my part as a husband. Great, Anna smiled. I believe you. I have 2 projects on my hands right now. Once I finish them, let's go on another trip. Okay. I want to go to Northern Europe, and I want to see penguins in Antarctica. Would you come with me? Though, I'm really afraid of the cold. If you want to go, I'll go with you. We walked and chatted. After half a month of being together, things between us no longer felt awkward or stiff like before. Just then, my phone rang. It was a call from the hospital. Willow had been in a car accident. She was in the ER, and I was listed as her emergency contact. I hadn't expected this. It had already been half a month. She was still in City A. And even more unexpected, she was in an accident. But this was a life or death matter. Even if we had broken up, I couldn't just turn a blind eye. I explained the situation to Anna. She nodded. "Go quickly, I'm coming with you." My mind was a mess. Why did things always happen like this? I didn't want to hear anything more about Willow. Not good news. Not bad news. Nothing. But she always showed up against my will. On my wedding day, like that. And now, again like this. We rushed to the hospital. But what we saw there was not what we expected. Willow wasn't lying in an operating room. She was sitting on a bench, a small bandage on her forehead. Other than that, she seemed completely fine. Nowhere near what the call had made it sound like, in emergency surgery. A surge of frustration and anger shot straight to my head. I was practically shaking as I shouted, "Willow, do you think this is funny?" I didn't believe for a second that such a minor injury required the hospital to contact her emergency contact. It was obvious, Willow had used the accident as an excuse to see me. Why did she always have to be like this? Why did everything have to go her way? Why did everyone always have to give in to her? Seeing me furious, Willow panicked. She admitted she had her own motives, but she just wanted to see me. "I couldn't reach you. You blocked me everywhere. I tried every social media app you use. I asked friends to reach out, but you ignored them too. George, I've been in City A this whole time. I tried everything I could think of to find you, but I couldn't. What else was I supposed to do?" Tears fell from her eyes as she spoke. This past half-month had been the most powerless period of her entire life. She wanted to find me, to apologize, to beg for forgiveness, but she couldn't do anything. Even our mutual friends had started avoiding her, like she was some kind of plague. How did things end up like this? They had been so in love. All their mutual friends had once cheered for their wedding, celebrated their relationship. So why had it come to this? That's when Willow noticed the woman standing next to me. We were standing so close, wearing matching rings. Every detail screamed to the world that we were husband and wife. We were now each other's closest, most intimate partner. And her, what was she now? Wasn't all of this supposed to be hers? Wasn't she supposed to be the one standing next to me? The wedding half a month ago, it should have been hers. So why wasn't it? Who ruined everything? It was her. No one else. She understood the logic, but she just couldn't accept it so easily. Willow wept bitterly. George, you used to love me so much. You still love me now, don't you? This young lady. Anna stepped forward as she spoke. My husband and I came to see you today because we were told you were seriously injured in a car accident. Out of basic human decency, we came to check on you, but it seems we were completely overreacting. You clearly didn't need us here. So let me kindly remind you, coveting someone else's husband is wrong. I don't care how loving or happy you two were in the past. That's exactly what it is, the past. If you were really that happy, he wouldn't have married me. He is my husband now. I trust you're not the kind of person who would deliberately try to ruin someone's marriage. Anna smiled again, then added, also, setting someone else's husband as your emergency contact is really quite rude. Please don't do that again. As she finished speaking, Anna gently took my hand. Let's go, darling. All right. I turned around without a shred of hesitation. Every time I saw Willow, I felt exhausted. Whether it was the arguments or the endless rehashing of the past, it all felt pointless. Arguing over who was right or wrong. Arguing over whether we still loved each other. What was the point? There was none. None at all. George, you can't treat me like this, you can't. Willow shouted. You promised you'd marry me. You said you'd never leave me. Willow was devastated, desperately trying to use memories of our past love to pull me back, but I walked away without looking back. Absolutely resolute. I didn't care what Willow did after that, whether she returned to C City or stayed in City A. It no longer had anything to do with me. I threw myself into work at the company. No breaks. My older brother didn't go easy on me just because we're family. A mountain of tasks landed on me, and I had no time or energy left to think about Willow. Half a month flew by. One day, I came home and, surprisingly, Anna had gotten back earlier than me. Anna was always intensely focused on her career. Even during our honeymoon, she had built up a backlog of work. For the past 2 weeks, she'd been working overtime almost every day. You're back, Anna said as she pulled me toward the dining table. Come on, let's have dinner. I ordered it from a nice restaurant. It should taste pretty good. All right. I didn't refuse, but when I looked at the dishes more closely, I was surprised. They were all my favorites. How did Anna know? Maybe I wore the question on my face, because Anna smiled and explained. I asked Mom, but she said you haven't been home much in recent years, so these were things you used to love. She wasn't sure if you still like them now. I do. Thank you. It's really thoughtful of you. I was touched. I've never been good at dealing with other people's kindness, let alone Anna's, especially with the complicated emotions in her eyes. I tried to respond the way I usually did, to keep it casual, to brush it off. But then Anna spoke again. It's not a big effort. When you like someone, doing things to make them happy, that's just natural. The words hit me like a punch. I started coughing uncontrollably, nearly burying my face in my bowl. Chapter 15. Anna got startled and reached over to pat my back. What? Am I that scary? Did I shock you that badly? No, it's just, I didn't expect that. I hurried to explain. Didn't my mom already tell you? She said you've liked me for many years. Anna kept throwing emotional fastballs one after another. I couldn't even keep up. I looked at Anna, a little dazed. She let out a helpless sigh. So, do you want to eat first? Or hear my story first? Let's eat first. Somehow, I ended up just following Anna's lead, but hey, at least I got a proper meal in. Maybe it was because the food was exactly to my taste, but Anna's words from earlier didn't affect my appetite at all. After dinner, I instinctively got up to clear the table. When I was done, I noticed Anna holding a large photo in her hands. I walked closer. It turned out to be a class photo from my high school graduation. A whole grade group photo with hundreds of students. I couldn't even tell where I was in the picture. But Anna. She pointed me out in the crowd instantly. And then she pointed at someone else in the photo. That one's me. I was in the top left corner. She was in the bottom right. We were practically on opposite ends of the diagonal. We were so far apart in the picture. And in real life, I had never known that one of my high school classmates had been Anna. Seeing my blank, confused face, Anna shook her head, exasperated. I knew you wouldn't remember me, but it's okay. I remembered you. Anna began telling the story. It wasn't even a complicated one. The Anna standing before me today is beautiful, elegant, poised, and intelligent. She seems to embody every possible compliment. But 10 years ago, back in high school, she wasn't like that at all. Back then, she was shy, overweight, and had a face full of acne. But she also had one thing that often paints a target on someone's back: good grades. People like that always seem to attract hatred for no reason. So inevitably, she became the victim of random acts of cruelty. To adults, teenage bullying is just kids being kids. Nothing serious, but for the one caught in the storm, it can feel like the end of the world. One day, Anna was locked inside the equipment room. It was me, running back late to return a basketball, who happened to unlock the door and let her out. That was our first meeting. Of course, I didn't remember any of it. 3 months later, Anna had dirty water poured all over her by a group of classmates. I just happened to be walking by at that moment. Back then, I was known for having a good temper. I rarely argued with anyone, but that day, I lost it. I took off my school jacket and draped it over Anna. Then turned and snapped at the kids who had done it. I even threatened them. If you ever do something like this again, I'm calling the police. Chapter 16. Anna looked at me with a smile. Do you know how incredibly handsome you looked back then? Sorry, I don't remember, to be honest. As Anna told her story, I could vaguely recall some of it, but beyond what she mentioned, I couldn't remember anything else. That doesn't matter anymore, Anna said, smiling. It was just a young girl's secret feelings. And from that moment on, they had quietly settled on this one person, me. But back then, she was full of self-doubt. She didn't think she was worthy. So she started working hard to become better. Maybe when you're in a dark place, you'll cling desperately to anything that gives you hope, just to avoid drowning. I had become Anna's one thread of hope during those 3 years. She also learned how to fight back when people bullied her. After the college entrance exams, Anna had planned to confess her feelings to me, but something far more dramatic happened to her instead. Turns out, I was the long-lost daughter of a wealthy family, Anna said with a crooked, sarcastic smile. For the first 18 years, when I needed them the most, they were nowhere to be found. And when I didn't need them anymore, they showed up. And when they did, they came in hard, controlling every part of my life. Anna laughed bitterly. They sent me overseas, saying it was for some elite education. But the truth is, they were just ashamed of how I looked at the time. I wasn't good enough for them, and I couldn't resist. Whatever they wanted, they made happen. But they never expected that I would use all of that as a stepping stone. During her years abroad, Anna seized every opportunity to rise. She leveraged her family's money, connections, and resources. Soon, she had built a business of her own. By the time she returned home, she was completely transformed. No longer the ugly duckling she had once been. Later, I joined the family company. I spent years focused on my career, but my parents still refused to acknowledge me. To them, I'm just a woman, and women are supposed to get married. All my achievements meant nothing. What mattered was that I needed to find a man. I didn't know what to do back then. I didn't want to be handed off to just anyone. I didn't want to go on endless blind dates. Then one day, I met your mother. I knew who she was, and I also knew you had a girlfriend. Anna closed her eyes. But that's the kind of person I am. Even knowing you had someone, I still wanted to marry you. I told your mom I wanted to propose a marriage alliance. I figured, if she rejected me, I'd give up. If I got turned down, I'd just marry someone else and be done with it. But after talking to her, she actually said she'd ask you. And what I didn't expect at all was that you said yes. Anna looked at me seriously. George, I like you. It's been 10 years. I've worked so hard just to get to your side. I fell silent. The truth is, the first time Mom brought up the marriage alliance, I said no. Back then, I was still desperately trying to help Willow recover her memory. I wasn't thinking about anyone else's feelings at all. But fate has its own sense of irony. The very next day, I found out Willow had been lying to me. So I agreed to the marriage alliance. At the time, I really believed it was just a simple arrangement. I never imagined it would lead me to a woman who had been silently in love with me for 10 years. 10 years? How could I possibly deserve that? I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize. Anna cut me off with a soft smile. You didn't do anything wrong. Why would you need to apologize? My feelings were never your responsibility. In your world, we've only known each other for a month, so you don't owe me anything. I'm telling you all this not because I expect anything from you. I just don't want to hide it from you. I don't want to lie. I want absolute honesty between us. It's okay if you don't like me. For me, marrying the person I love is already the greatest happiness. Anna said it with grace and calm. But I could still see the sadness behind her eyes. I've been hurt in love before. So I knew, she wasn't as composed as she seemed. I sighed and looked at her seriously. Anna, I have to be honest with you right now. I can't say that I love you, but we're married. And if I'm ever going to fall in love with someone again, it's going to be you. I'll try my best to fall for you. Just give me some time. Okay. Anna reached out and hugged me. I've waited 10 years, of course I can keep waiting. You're amazing. Loving you is the greatest blessing in my life. Can you make me even luckier? Fall for me a little sooner, will you? I will. I nodded seriously. I would fall for Anna, soon. A woman like her doesn't deserve anything less. Chapter 17. On New Year's Day, Anna and I went home to have dinner with my parents. My mom sighed emotionally. I just knew you two would be a good match. Seeing how well you get along now really puts my heart at ease. Anna and I just smiled without saying anything. The truth was, we'd been married for several months. And we were still sleeping in separate rooms. But so what? We were getting closer day by day. It was only a matter of time before we became even more intimate. Just then, my dad chimed in. Well, since you two are getting along, you should start thinking about having a baby soon. Your brother's kid is about to start kindergarten. You know, I nearly choked, coughing uncontrollably. Anna, however, just smiled and said, "Sure, we'll listen to you and Mom." Once we left the house, Anna naturally took my hand and explained with a smile, "Don't worry, I'm not going to pressure you like they do. I just said that to make them happy." I know. I nodded. Of course I knew. The way things were between us now, this was all because of me. Anna was even helping me explain things to my parents. How could I not be moved? Our two families lived close by, so we just walked home hand in hand. And somewhere along the way, I suddenly felt, if life kept going like this, it really wouldn't be so bad. But that peaceful feeling vanished the moment I saw the person standing at our door. Willow. What was she doing here? Willow slowly turned around, staring straight at me. She seemed to ignore Anna completely, looking only at me with stubborn eyes. "I've been waiting for you for a long time," she said. "Why are you waiting for me?" I replied calmly. "And how did you even find out where I live? After so long apart, is the first thing you say to me really an interrogation?" Willow let out a bitter laugh. "I quit my job in C-City. I came to City A for you. I tried everything I could think of just to find your address. And now that I've finally found you, why are you so cold to me? Do you really need to ask?" I said impatiently. "Don't you know what kind of relationship we have now? We broke up. We're not connected in any way anymore. I'm married now. Why are you still coming to find me? So what if you're married? Do you love her? You two are just in an arranged marriage." Willow shouted. "You used to love me so much. There's no way you could fall for someone else that easily." Then she suddenly laughed. "I probably seem like a total lunatic to you, don't I? I feel like I've lost my mind, like you've driven me insane." I said nothing. She wasn't wrong. She really did look like someone who had gone completely mad. After laughing, Willow kept going. "But so what? I love you. Even if that love drives me crazy. Even if people laugh at me. Even if I lose everything because of it. I don't care." Willow raised her hand as she spoke. There was a ring on her right hand, the same ring I had given her when I proposed. "See, you already proposed to me. I was just too scared back then. I only said no temporarily. I was always planning to marry you someday. Why couldn't you just wait for me?" I stayed silent. I didn't even know how to communicate with Willow anymore. She was completely delusional now, lost in her own world. No matter what anyone said, she wouldn't listen. Anna let out a cold laugh and pulled out her phone to make a call. "What's going on with you guys? How did an outsider get in?" She hung up, and soon, the security guards came running. They looked at Willow with helpless expressions, then turned to explain to Anna and me. "She's been loitering near the entrance of the community for days now. We've been refusing to let her in. We don't know how she sneaked in this time. That's our mistake. We'll take her out right away. I don't want to see this person at our doorstep again." I said calmly. "Yes, of course, sir. Don't worry. We'll make sure of that." "George, you can't do this to me. You can't treat me like this." Willow was dragged out by the guards. Even though she was clearly unwilling to leave, Anna didn't hold back. "If you try anything like this again, I'll call the police." It wasn't until we were inside that Anna dropped her forceful exterior. She turned to me, looking a little uncertain. "Are you mad at me?" "Mad? What for?" I was confused. Anna explained herself. "For the way I treated her. Are you angry at me for that?" "Why would you think that?" I sighed and gently patted her head. "You're my wife. This is our home." She broke in and started saying all kinds of nonsense at our door. She was completely out of line. "You drove her away. You did the right thing. Why would I blame you? I thought maybe you'd still feel bad about hurting her." Hearing Anna say that, I felt even more helpless. "Why would you think that? I haven't contacted her at all these past few months. You saw her yourself. She refuses to talk to anyone. I don't know what else to do, other than avoid her." "Then let me handle it." Anna looked at me seriously. "You said it yourself. We're husband and wife. Your problems are mine too. If you don't know what to do, just leave it to me." "Okay." I nodded. "The truth is, I've already tried everything I could with Willow." I spoke to her kindly, explained things clearly, and told her many times that there was no longer any possibility between us. I tried to end things on a good note, to give us both a little dignity, but she refused to listen. She went so far as to quit her job and follow me all the way from C-City. If she cared about me this much now, then why did she cheat on me so recklessly back then? She hurt me so deeply. Did she really never think there would be consequences? But those were her mistakes. I have no obligation to pay the price for them, and I definitely don't owe her endless patience. I'm not that much of a fool. Chapter 18. Inside the cafe, Willow was already waiting early. I had finally agreed to meet her. As the door opened, she stood up excitedly, only to see Anna walking in. "What are you doing here?" Willow's expression turned sour. Of course it's me. Who did you think it would be? Anna gave a faint smile. He's not going to see you. I just didn't want you bothering us again. So I came instead. What do you want from me? Do you even know how long we were together? What makes you think you can compare to me? Willow sounded arrogant, but only she knew how panicked she really felt inside. After all, Anna was my lawful wife. While she was just an ex-girlfriend who had made a huge mistake, I did a little digging on you. Anna raised an eyebrow. You did a lot of things to hurt George while you were together. A lot. You two broke up entirely because of you. Because you betrayed that relationship. You pushed him away with your own hands. So what right do you have to regret it now? This is between the two of us. It's none of your business. Willow glared at Anna, furious. How did Anna know all of this? Did George tell her? Was he angry? Was he furious? Did he hate her? Anna ignored her rage. No, there are still things you don't know. Anna spoke slowly. Your dear friend, Maria. Her family had some business they needed my help with, so I gave her a little guidance. If she helped me with something, I'd work with her. Can you guess what that something was? A realization struck Willow. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Anna smirked. That's right, it was about you and me. The first time, at the bar, when she asked if you had memory loss, George was already at the door. He heard everything. And Maria, she did that on purpose. She wanted George to hear it. The second time, Maria came to your house. She deliberately brought up those guys from your past, the ones you had messy history with. George was right outside the door. Again, intentional. She said all that so George would hear. The third time, you and Maria staged that little performance, that act where you pretended to recover your memories. Of course she played along, but afterward, she made sure George found out it was all fake. You see, you're a joke. Everything you did was full of holes. George's heart was shattered long before this. So tell me, what makes you think you still have a chance to win him back? And you? Willow shot back, eyes blazing. What gives you the right to scheme against us like that? Who was this woman? How could Anna be so calculating, so manipulative? And now she was even bragging about it. Suddenly, Willow felt like she had found Anna's weakness. She leaned in, her voice rising with excitement. Anna, George used to love me so much, and you planned for us to break up. If he knew about this, do you think he'd forgive you? He'd probably be desperate to divorce you. Anna didn't flinch. Instead, she gave a dismissive shake of her head, and lifted her phone with a calm smile. On the screen, the call interface clearly showed an ongoing call with me. Chapter 19. Willow stared in shock. How could Anna? How could she dare say all of that in front of him? But Anna simply smiled. I told him, I'd never lie to him about anything. Even if I committed crimes, did the worst things imaginable, I'd still let him know. That includes scheming against you. But have you ever thought, maybe the reason my plans worked, is because you did something wrong in the first place? Anna looked at Willow calmly. Back then, I knew you two were dating, but I couldn't accept it. So I investigated you. I found out everything you did, how you faked amnesia, how you messed around with other people behind his back. You lied to George. Of course he had the right to know the truth. I could have just told him directly, or I could let him discover it slowly. I chose the latter. And now you think you still have the right to argue with him, to make a scene. Even knowing all this, even knowing I was behind it, he still chose to stay with me. He asked me to come and persuade you to leave. Isn't that enough for you to understand? Willow was crying uncontrollably. He can't treat me like this. He sold our house. Our home is gone. I quit my job and came all the way to City A for him. He can't just do this to me. He never asked you to do any of that. Anna replied coldly. That was all your choice. Don't pin it on him. Your selfishness, your foolishness, your recklessness, they all helped me in the end. I should be thanking you, but between you and him, there is absolutely no chance left. This is your warning. If you show up again in front of him spouting some nonsense about love or feelings, I will make sure you understand what it truly means to lose everything. With that, Anna stood up and left. Not far away, I was waiting in the car. I watched calmly as Anna walked over and sat beside me. So this is what you wanted me to know. I let out a tired sigh. I had often wondered before, why did I always just happen to learn the truth through Maria? But I never imagined Anna had a hand in it. Anna's eyes turned red. I've always wanted to tell you, but I didn't know how. No matter how I put it, it would make me sound like a manipulative, scheming bitch, and maybe I am one. But you know what? I've gotten greedy. At first, I just wanted to marry you, but now, I want you to love me. I want you to love me without a single doubt. And sometimes I regret what I did. I'm sorry. Alright, that's enough. I pulled Anna into a tight embrace. Thank you for being willing to tell me everything. If you hadn't helped me back then, I might still be falling for her lies, but you did keep it from me for a long time, and I'm still a little mad about that. As I said this, Anna's face instantly filled with tension. I avoided her gaze on purpose. So, here's your punishment. For the rest of your life, You're not allowed to keep anything from me again. Deal? Deal. Anna nodded without hesitation. Since I said that, it meant I was done holding it against her. Anna hugged me tightly. You're so good to me. I could only sigh. No one wants to be manipulated. No one wants to be made a fool of, led around in circles. But what was done was done. What else could I do? Was I really going to cut Anna off completely because of this? That wasn't going to happen. The most important thing was, Anna did all of this because she loved me, and for that, I could forgive her. Willow, unwilling to give up, caused a few more scenes afterward, but she couldn't even get close enough to see me. Anna guarded me strictly, never giving her a single chance to cause trouble. Eventually, Willow had no choice but to give up. She disappeared, and I could finally live in peace. I could finally settle down and enjoy life with Anna. And on a beautiful night, we naturally, and finally, moved in together. Chapter 20. On our first wedding anniversary, Anna was acting mysteriously. She told me she had a surprise for me. I didn't ruin her excitement, I just smiled and agreed. On the way home, I kept wondering, what kind of surprise could it be? But no matter how much I thought, I couldn't guess. After all, anything Anna called a surprise couldn't possibly be something ordinary. It wasn't until I stepped through the door and saw Anna standing up from the couch with a smile. She walked up to me and gently placed my hand on her belly. Her stomach was still soft and flat. I didn't understand at first, but Anna just smiled. In a few months, you're going to be a dad. I froze. 3 months ago, we had just moved in together, and now I was going to have a child. Anna gave me all the time I needed to let the news sink in. I stood there stunned for a long while, then I finally smiled. Wife, this is amazing. This is the best gift I could ever ask for. I lifted Anna into my arms and gently set her down on the couch. Thank you so much. I'm really the luckiest man alive to have met you. No, I'm the lucky one, Anna said sincerely. She was the salvation that fell from the sky when I was just a teenager, the safe haven called home in my 20s, and the partner to spend all the days and nights of the rest of my life with. I held Anna tightly, as if I never wanted to let go again. Back then, I really thought I didn't deserve happiness anymore. I had exiled myself, prepared to live in loneliness forever, but I never expected to find true love waiting just around the corner. I looked at her and spoke from the heart. Anna, I love you. I love you too, she said, eyes brimming with tears. I've loved you for many years. She had finally gotten the answer she had waited so long to hear, and Anna wept with joy. She had waited so many years for this day, and now, it had finally come. The 13th time Willow was rejected in a job interview. The interviewer told her, politely but clearly, though there wasn't a position for her in City A, the company had branches in many other cities. She was welcome to apply anywhere but here. That was the moment Willow finally realized. Someone didn't want her working in City A, this massive city, and yet not a single company dared to hire her. She opened her phone. That same account had posted something again. 1 year ago, right after I had broken up with her, a stranger's account had added her. At first, she didn't think much of it, but not long after, she started seeing me in the posts. The honeymoon trip, the dinners, the shopping trips, the movie nights, everything we did together, posted in vivid detail. Willow knew exactly who it was. It was my wife, Anna, and she knew why Anna added her. To let her see it all, to show her everything she had lost, to make sure she regretted it, to remind her that she had ruined everything and that there would be no second chance. That day, Anna had posted a pregnancy test, 2 pink lines. She was pregnant, and all of Willow's persistence over the past year now felt like a cruel joke. She had quit her job, left C City, moved to City A, all for the sake of winning me back. She couldn't even see him one last time, and now, she had to witness the joy of him becoming a father. But who could she really blame? Wasn't all of this exactly what she deserved? Hadn't she brought it on herself? This was the life she chose, so who else could she hold responsible? In the end, Willow gave up completely. Why had she been so afraid when I proposed to her? Why had she done something so absurd, so destructive? It all traced back to when she was a little girl. Her father had abandoned her and her mother. He'd started a new family somewhere else, and left them behind. So even now, if Anna hadn't been pregnant, even if we were already married, Willow could have convinced herself to keep being shameless, to be that woman, the homewrecker, the other woman chasing some so-called true love. But Anna was pregnant, and Willow had to ask herself, would she really want a child to grow up the way she had? The answer was no. So whether she wanted to give up or not, this time, she had no choice. With a bitter smile, Willow deleted Anna from her contacts. If City A had no place left for her, then she'd leave, start over in a different city. But she knew she'd never be happy again. She had made too many mistakes. She deserved this, to lose the one she loved, to live in loneliness forever. Once, all she had ever wanted was a home, a person to love, but after finally getting those things, Why had she thrown them away with her own hands? This was karma. She had brought this upon herself. She had said, "I regret it," countless times, but regret could no longer change anything.